What's up, guys? The 1983 Honda Sabre has been for sale, so if you want to buy it, she's here. But unfortunately, when you leave stuff sit outside, things can act up that don't act up before. So I had this battery charged up. It's probably dead now. We can set our choke. It doesn't really matter what I'm going to show you. So what happens when you leave bikes sit outside? Things stop working. So the start button has decided to not work for us. So what we need to do is actually take this apart, clean our contacts. I don't know if it's in the start button, if it's in this switch here. But all that does is supposed to connect the circuits to your starter. So I think all you have to do is hopefully clean this sucker out. The other way to test it is to jump the starter relay, which I will do. But let's get a good charge on this battery and then I'll join you and we'll see if we can get it started. All right, so we're gonna pop the side cover off. There's a little lip here. You pop out the popper down here. And then she slides forward. She locks in there too. So just be careful when you're doing that. You don't want to break these tabs, or else she may not stay on for you. There we go. Here's our pirate battery. Let's get her good charged up. While we're at it, working on the Sabre, we're gonna try and jump it from the solenoid here, and it's so hard to get in here. This thing's in backwards basically, so I gotta jump this under here to this, and it's not gonna be easy. Maybe I'll grab an alligator clip. Usually I just stick a screwdriver over there, but this is not gonna be a simple thing. Let's go get the battery or a key and see if we at least get some cranks out of it. Then I know for sure that it's in here, which it probably is, because when you hit this, it doesn't do anything. The guy that was looking at it was messing with this, and that might be dirty, and now it's been sitting like that, and now it probably isn't telling it to run. So basically this has to come off probably and be cleaned. Great, now it started snowing. Cool, so it's snowing. All right, well, let's make some sparks here. All right, we got this. Let's give it a quick test just to make sure. Start. Nothing. Yeah, I think that's probably dirty. Let's see if we get some cranks. Got this open here. Try not to touch anything I shouldn't. There we go. Come on, baby. Got it. Oh, there it is. That's what it is then. The start button isn't making contact. I don't know if I can start it. She sounds really tired. Let's see, I can pull this up. It is on choke. I think it is on choke. All right, let's try that. See if I can get her to fire while we're at it. She does run. Just need to work on the battery. Or, not the battery. She's getting tired. All right, well, we can pull this off and clean that up. Put a battery charger on this while we're at it. All right, before I tear this off and go ahead and take all this apart and clean it out, I'm gonna do one thing. I have another one of these. It's a, I believe it's the same year, 83. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and remove the headlight so I can get in here behind to where this plugs in. If you follow this, this is like not been messed with. There's a wire brace there, and then you follow it down here and it goes up in behind here. So we're gonna find where this plugs in, and I think it's usually all behind the headlight. So we have two screws down here. I'm gonna take those two out and pop it open, and then we're just gonna plug in another set of controls and maybe we can get her cranking that way. All right, guys, so I just spliced in, well, I patched in the starter button here, so we can see if this start button works. See, look, it's the same thing. Actually, looks pretty nice. Way better than this guy. So let's see if this start button works. Over that one. I think the battery is fully charged, and choke's been on for all this time. Now let's see if this start button works. All we need to know is, will she crank? She's not cranking. Well, why not? Our next option here is just verify that this does crank, and maybe we can start it now that the battery's full. We're going to jump our starter again, starter solenoid, and see if we can get her to fire. Maybe this switch isn't good either. Easily could be the problem. Let's see. Will you jump? Ready? Okay, well, she definitely works. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna get her to warm up and get her running. And there's definitely something in both starter buttons, apparently. You can see in here, we're gonna have to take them apart and clean them. I think this is probably the issue. So this is what we got. Starter button is down there. Just needs to make contact. So easily could be, both of these are bad. Easily could be. Okay, so she is running. That tells me at least this button's working. If I flick that, it would go off. It also tells me, oh, there we go. Now we're perking up. She hasn't run in so long. Poor girl. So that tells me at least the starter button is not. Starter button not good. That's fair. Poor girl. Sitting out here in the weather. Now we got to tear this apart and clean it. Or maybe just buy a new one. We'll see. See what that would run. Maybe put on new grips while we're at it. She does sound good. Anybody want to buy her? She's for sale. Oh! There we go. What's this warning light for? Warning light for water. Headlight. Oh. Headlight. Yeah, I just connected the headlight. Yeah, that's probably a good reason. Oh no! And that guy came and test drove it. He did probably bend this. I didn't really notice it before. Now I'm messing with it. I want to break it. Alright, well, it's good she runs. She's a reliable old girl. I don't know why it's splashing with water. My coolant must be low. I'll have to figure that out. That's lit up again. I noticed that wasn't on for a while, but now it is. It lights up when it's off. If it's running, you flick it down and it's the fan. Ah, my screws are falling off here. Alright guys, well, looks like we gotta clean up the contacts on the start buttons. I don't know why, but This one, it doesn't work at all. Maybe I'll let her warm up before I mess with things. That's just the starting circuit. All right, so do you want me to do the cleaning in this video? See, moisture gets in those holes. We're gonna have to dig to find it though. All right, so I'm gonna pull out this screw. It looks like it's a star versus the normal. It's probably JIS or Phillips. I don't know, maybe it's just messed up a little bit. I'm gonna pull this out so that's out of the way, and then I'll pull those two out and see what we got. Here is our actual button. Look how dirty and disgusting that is. We're not into the innards yet, but you can tell if this is how dirty we are now, how it'll probably be. And then our start button's down there. It just fell out the other end. So, yeah, I gotta pop this free, see what it looks like inside. I should test this, see if it works. But I don't know which wires to follow. There's 4 wires going in there. 4 wires going in the start button itself. So, all right, I don't know if this will help you or not, but just popping that top off. Here is, look how greasy this is. Maybe it's supposed to be greasy, but there are connections that this makes when it's depressed, and there's connections that it makes when it's pressed in. And as you can see, I don't know if these look good either. You can see here, it's all dirty, and maybe it's dielectric grease, I don't know. So when it's out, let's look down here. This is our buttons. And when this goes in and out, you're making these metal things hit those metal things. So, I don't know. Something's not working. Maybe these are out of place in there. Maybe they're worn out. I don't know. Maybe just getting in here, scrape them up a little bit. Maybe I can get them working again. Just make sure when you put it all back together, I don't know, maybe I need to clean these up. Do something about all this dirt. All right, I scraped these with a screwdriver just to clean up those contacts and wipe them free. We could put a little dielectric grease in there. I guess that would be a smart thing to do, just to keep it smooth and keep moisture out of there. So I did that. Let's try not to drop that off the table. It's kind of a dumb place to put it. And then here, our button, and clean up inside here. You see, the spring still works good, so I'm not concerned about that. It just might be, you can see the copper's worn off there. So I don't know if just scraping these free, making sure they're in the proper place. I don't know if it fell off in there. And scraping them free and cleaning them up. Maybe that's all we need to do. All right, here is everything taken apart. This is your button case. You see, there's either moisture or some grease in there. I don't know what to do. Maybe put a little, like I said, needs to move freely. There's a ball bearing on the bottom of here. I guess that keeps it in the point there where it's supposed to stay. And then this spring comes up to make your contacts. Hold the contacts tight. This little, I feel like it's a plastic piece. Ah! This little guy sits on top of this spring, and I'm not sure what keeps that where it needs to be. But then these, which I cleaned up, are contacts, and they sit on top of that somehow. And then we're good to go. So I gotta figure out how to put these back in here and I don't know if I can buy one of these. Maybe I'll try. But that's what we have so far. I'll see if I can buy them. So yeah, that little piece has to sit in here and then keep contact on these guys. So these guys need to sit in there. Whoa. So we need to figure this out. Put it back together and figure out if she'll work again. Hey, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right or if it will work, but I had to carefully set all that down on that zone. I took that little board, and I think that little knob between it, can you see? The little knob between the two is to hold them apart in place, and then they kind of fit down in there. So I'm thinking when I slide the rest of it down on top of this to lock it in, it should push all that down and hold it in place. So hopefully I'm doing this right. I'm gonna try to do this. This is so particular. Everything's got to be perfect. So now we gotta slide these guys right down on top of there. Should I put a little dielectric grease on this? Yeah, let's see if I have some. All right, guys, I popped that button back together. I could not find any dielectric grease, so I just put it back together with the clean contacts. So now our job is to see we're set to run, to see if this start button works now, as it didn't before. Yeah, I'll have to put it all back together, but it's better to do this now and see if she works. And then we could do it to that one too if we want to. Ooh. Button sounds good, feels good. All right, well, she will start. If I really wanted to, I could put the choke on and fire her up. All right, so at least we know that this works. Taking this apart and cleaning the contacts was all it needed. And that little ball bearing in there, that keeps it in place. Feels solid. I'm not gonna push it now, it's running. So if I want to, I wonder if I can get this button out without getting all this off of here. I might try that. I'll let her warm up. Oh, she ran yesterday. Here. All right. Yeah, you're good, you're good. I know you're good. Okay, so that's good. We're happy with that. All that works. And all we had to do was clean this button out. And I noticed this doesn't have an end on it. That stayed on the bike when I took it off. That's an 82 parts bike, and who knows if it'll run, the one I stole this from. So it's good to know. You saw the inside of the switch, not that hard to take apart and clean. If I had some dielectric grease, I would have put a little bit on there. It's around here somewhere. They come in those little packets that are so easy to lose. I don't know. It's around here somewhere. So bike's running again. It was the start button that got dirty. The contacts weren't working. And now she's easy to start again once I get all this put back together. Like I said, if I can just open this up, drop the 3 screws on the bottom, pop just this out, I might be able to do that. And then I can clean that up and get on with life. So you saw how all this came off. You just see those little clips there? You just pry that a little bit. Be careful because it could break. Just pry it on the one side and lift this out. Be careful because stuff's gonna fall out when you take that apart. So anyway, that solved the issue of the 1983 Honda Sabre. That is for sale. Solved the issue, getting it running again. So awesome. Now, I don't know if this guy had any gas, any fuel. I went to start it the other day. There's not a ton of fuel in there, but battery's charged up. This is the 97 wrecked rebuild. Maybe we'll see if we can get her started quick. These guys are not important. I went to start it, battery was too dead. She cranked down, and actually My fuel was off. Now she's on reserve. So let's see if she wants to start. This button gives me the same issues. She's good. Oh, I guess I should have turned choke on. Sorry, Maggie.